according to the Mayan calendar, that just stops in 2012, that the world's going to end, right? Whatever you think. But Michael de Nostradamus had a few predictions of his own. According to Nostradamus' biography, Nostradamus' prophecy, and Nostradamus' prediction and prophecy quatrains biography, he predicted the end of the world. But we'll see. Today I'm going to tell you about his childhood and adult life, time period that he lived in, and some of his predictions. He was born on December 14, 1503 in Saint-Remy de Provence in southern France. He was one of 9 children. He attended 2 universities. The first was the University of Avignon for 2 years, and the second was the University of Montpellier for 2 years. He got his doctorate in medicine and was known as a great doctor. He was also known for his unorthodox ways of healing. During the 1500s, bloodletting was a very common way to heal, and he did not do that, which was strange, but it seemed to work. Also, the plague was going on during the time, and he was known to be able to cure even people in the worst condition. Unfortunately, both his wife and child died during the plague, which ruined his credibility. This was the end of Michael Nostradamus, the healer, and the beginning of Michael Nostradamus, the philosopher. He changed his name to make it sound more French, right after his family died. During the 1500s, the church ruled. Everything went through the church, even publishing of books, everything. They could destroy whatever they wanted, keep what they wanted. He was on very good terms with the church at first. He started writing almanacs in 1550, and he wrote them annually till 1555. The Queen of France even asked him to predict horoscopes for his children. His almanac in 1555 had unnamed threats to the church, and this led him to go into sort of hiding, but not really hiding. He just kind of cut himself off from the church and didn't really talk to people except for people he was close to. During this time, he was writing a book. The book was supposed to contain 1,000 quatrains. Quatrains are 4-line poems arranged, and they were arranged into centuries. There were 100 quatrains in a century in his book. He also wrote a few 6-line poems called sixtins. All of his prophecies were very obscure. He did this because he didn't want the church to find them and destroy them, so he encoded them using a few different methods. First off, none of them were sequential. None of them, just because he wrote one after another, had no way to follow it. He also used anagrams, symbolism, and mythology. He used 3 languages: early modern French, Latin, and Greek. So he used 3 different languages, mixed in some symbolism, and that led to a very, very cryptic message. Also, in 1994, Enza Mesa found the Lost Book in Rome. These contain cryptic paintings. Supposedly, this book contains steps to the end of the world. One of the main things that it contained were the coming of 3 antichrists. According to decoders, the painting that talks about them is supposed to say that they led their people through reigns of terror after first seducing them with the promise of greatness. They think the first Antichrist was Napoleon, the second was Hitler, and the third potentially could be Saddam Hussein or Osama bin Laden. But they don't know. The third is supposed to be the most hideous of them all. The only way his prophecies have ever been connected with anything is in hindsight. It's always easier to connect things in hindsight. So, whether you believe it or not, it's up to you. But now that you know a little bit about him, his childhood and adult life, and a little bit about his prophecies, you can decide for yourself whether you believe he predicted the end of the world or not. Thank you.